Hey YouTube, and thanks for watching Junkworks Garage. Well, you may or may not have watched my video on how I adapted a new hose to my pressure washer because I got an old Campbell Housefeld pressure washer and it still works well. It did still work great. I actually haven't used it in probably a couple years, but I'm hoping it still works, we'll put it that way. Anyhow, I went out and bought this right here. I've been having a problem the last couple years with moss growing on my roof. So we went to check and see about having it done for me. And we have animals, and so we didn't want to have any problems with it. Both killing off the trees, that was another thing. We have some trees back in the area they'd be working, and the animals can get kind of back in the area where I need it done at as well. So most of the people we talked to wound up at around like $500–600 to have them come in, and every one of them said, oh well, we don't use chemicals, we use a pressure washer. And all they do is pressure wash it. So I went and found this. This right here is a giant wand. I think it's 30 feet if I can remember. I'll put down the length and the price below somewhere in the screen here, and because I can never remember that kind of stuff. So I went ahead and grabbed this off Amazon, and it comes with like a sling thing you put around you. It comes with a pair of gloves. I don't know if they're waterproof or what, but that's kind of, I don't think it said it had gloves, I can't remember. And it's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tips, and kind of a swivel and an adapter here, and some, you know, plumber's tape of some sort there. So anyhow, there's that, and then the wand which extends out. So once again, well, and it's got kind of like a curved end here too to help with some stuff. It appears like it has some other extensions as well. Yep, here's kind of a more straight extension with a 90 or I don't know, 45 on it here. So a couple different extensions as well as the gun here, which seems like it was well packaged for the most part. I didn't have any shipping damage that I can see anyway. Box actually seemed in one shape when I got it as well, surprisingly. So it's a pretty good sized wand thing here. But yet again, I'm going to have to probably adapt this to my machine. Although I think because I adapted the new hose to my old machine, and this is made for newer machines, but then that hose is several years old now. But regardless, hopefully that'll make it a little easier to adapt. So I should just be able to unscrew this off of here, first of all. Which in theory, if your machine has the same hose size, which I don't know what this is, it looks to be around 3/4 or so. Wow, boy, that is in there. There we go. Uh-oh. Usually there's not much water in this. I'm surprised there's water. Hopefully I don't have anything cracked or blown. So it comes with this fitting right here. It's kind of like your air hose fittings or that kind of thing, and I do believe anyhow that plugs into here, which it does. So that will make whatever I plug into this hook to the actual wand. Then we got our wand things here. Those will go onto the end of this right here, on the end of the wand extension, and then that will probably want to, you know, make sure it goes where it goes. I don't know if that'll just go on hand tight or if I'm going to need a wrench for that. We'll find that out at a later date here. It does seem to do that. And then these pieces here, the end pieces for whatever one you want, will go in there. But also, it comes with this swivel thing here, which will adapt into those pieces as well, which appears like you can make it hose whichever direction you might want. So then it's got this piece right here, a little brass piece here, and I'm thinking that's the one that probably will fit into my tip of my gun here, or tip of my hose here. Back to what we originally had. So I don't know why, for some reason you got this piece which will go on here. So if you want it to be a little bit longer, I guess maybe, which that'll also hook on here, which it could be like I had that problem before where I had bought a different hose. You have to go watch my video on how I adapt a new hose to an old pressure washer. But they had shorter versions and longer versions like this. And the shorter one would not work with my machine. So it could be that this little adapter here might be too close just to go in there. But I'll be honest, it does not appear like I'm going to have a problem. So we're going to start out with this piece all by itself and hook it on here. And hopefully we won't have any problems, but we might. We'll see if we end up leaking water out of here. If so, then I'll come back to this and put it on and we'll see if that works. But for right now I'm going to go with the minimal amount of things, and that should, in theory, hook that directly in. I've been reading through the instruction stuff here. This has max pressure of 4,000 psi, max flow 8 gallons per minute, max temp 140 degrees. That's about it. Now my pressure washer, actually the max output of it is 1,750 and 2 gallons per minute. So I know mine is under it. I'm hoping it will push through and work with this, but we'll find out in a bit. Well, unfortunately right after that the snow came and it's now come and went, and we're into April of the next year and it's raining non-stop now for the most part. But now not only do I need to do the roof and what I started this for in the first place, but also we're getting our place painted, so I need to power wash off the garage here. So I need my power washer to work, and I have no idea if it's going to yet still. So we're going to go ahead and start putting water in this thing. Now I'm not going to start it. The water will flow through this one anyway, and I should be able to see if there's any leaks anywhere. So that's what I'm about to be doing. And now we are draining out of there, so that'll be a video to come. I'm going to go ahead and start this up and kind of see what happens, and we'll go from there. At least as of right now, we don't seem to have any leaks coming out of this area here, and I do believe there's definitely some water going through here. Ooh, and rust. I don't know why. There was rust in there. I got water coming through everything. There doesn't seem to be any leaks. Now with this particular pressure washer, you got to hold this open when you start it. Well, as I feared, this is too small. I can get it on, but then the piece that it hooks to is like back here, and this needs to be more here. For me to be able to hook this on where it was, I'd be reaching behind me to try and pull this. But as you can see, I got this on and hooked around me with one, and now I can kind of use it. When you extend this, it's not going to be You know, if I need to really reach, I'm going to have to unhook it. But at least for right now, I can hold the trigger and hopefully pull the cord on this. And I also realized I can set this right here on the back of the machine and kind of pull it while I pull it. And hopefully we'll go without any bad noises. Well, I'm too fat, that's first of all. Second of all, it appears to actually be working, surprisingly. It's still leaking down there, but the leak actually slowed down a little bit. Next, you definitely have to have a nozzle on it. That's just too much coming out of there, which actually for starting it is probably good to let as much out as possible. That way the back pressure is not so bad. And the other thing, for me anyways, I need to be able to use it. Where this was, I was like kind of down like this, so I needed it kind of up a little bit so I could control a little bit more. So I actually brought this up some, which makes me wonder if I bring it up further across my chest, if this will actually work. Maybe. We'll see. Right. I am noticing with this pushing sideways, this one is really bending a lot. So I would think with this all the way out, using that might have problems. And if I do, I will tell you later on down the road. I already have in there how many feet this thing goes out, but I will go ahead and bring it all the way out that I can. And I'm gonna have to go across. I don't know how much of this thing you're gonna be able to see, but that's just two of them. That's not even four. Yeah, it is four too. These I'm gonna have to mess with. They're definitely not easy to open up the further out you get here. This does not seem like it's all the way out, but it could be the further out you get, the smaller it is. I'm wondering if there's adjustment on these as well, because they are definitely tight, and it does appear that there is a screw right here. I might be able to do some loosening, but there you go. I mean, that is way up there. I'll be able to do the roof up here and then some, but as far as holding it, definitely going to need some help, because even with this hooked on here, that, there's too much weight on the end to hold that and lift it. There's absolutely no way this works without a couple people. So we'll have to see. When I start doing the roof, I'll probably come back and finish this. This video doesn't want to finish for some reason. Right now I just got to get my garage and house hosed off for painting. And as you can see, tangled mess we have here, so I definitely got to figure that out as well. That could be part of why I'm having trouble pulling this out as well. Right. Well, I think I'm going to end this here. It wasn't a great video of how great this thing was. I think it'll do the job. Downside to it though, I do think I'm going to need something with like a broom like this holding the other end of this thing up, because there's no way you're going to control this thing unless you're way beefier than I am. And even then it's going to be difficult. Plus it's a little, I don't know if it's flimsy, I would say, but it's definitely kind of flops around a bit, so you're going to have to kind of control that a bit as well. So I think I definitely wouldn't get a longer one. If I had to do it over again, I'd probably go a little shorter. I probably won't pull this all the way out. And I'm hoping I can reach where I need to. I think with the pressure of the wand, I should be able to reach further, but we're definitely going to need to use something like this to kind of control it. Another downside to put this back on, which this is much lighter and nicer if I'm using it on a car or something like that, I'm going to have to get another adapter piece that will screw onto this that is the same plug that's on the end of this. So, and I'm pretty sure I can find something like that. We'll see down the road. I may do another video later on of how well or not well this worked for what I planned on using it for. Maybe just a short one later when I get to that. Right now, like everything else, I have too many other things going on. But I am also going to just use this to hose off the side of the house. I think this will work just fine. I don't think I need the wand for that. So, such as it is, hopefully you got something out of this. I mean, it seems like a decent quality thing. This machine will definitely push it out, I gotta say. Surprisingly, it's still pumping along. I'm definitely going to have to get some gaskets or something, or make a gasket to fix it. Keep an eye out for that video later on. And yet again, if you want to watch the video on how I adapted this to this, and probably later on I'll tell you how I adapted this so it's adaptable to that, go check out my tools, products, and reviews playlist. That's the best place to find these kind of things. I also did an oil change on this machine, so if you have one of these and you're curious about how to change the oil in it, go watch that also on that playlist as well. Alright, thanks for watching Junkworks Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and obviously master of none. You all have a good one.